Welcome all for this fundamental of C programming tutorial. We are going to talk about arrays. So what is basically array? Normally what happens, we declare one single variable and that single variable is capable of holding one value. But what if we have to accept or we have to store multiple values of same data type? For example, I asked you to enter the marks of 100 students. So in that case, we may need 100 variables, right? So instead of declaring 100 variables, can we use a single variable which can hold that 100 values? So yes, the answer is arrays. So what is array? Array in C is one of the most used data structure in C programming language. The most used data structure. It is simple and fast way of storing multiple values. See what I said, storing multiple values under a single name. So when we have to save, for example, 100 integer numbers, that can be saved under a single name. In this video, now we will talk about, or in this session we will talk about array declaration. Then we will talk about the definition of array, how to define the array, then how to initialize the array, what are the types of arrays, then what is the syntax of declaring the arrays or initializing the arrays, and then we will talk about the advantages and disadvantages, and finally we will conclude with some examples of using arrays. So let's begin. What is array in C? An array in C is fixed size collection of similar data items. Listen carefully, it is collection of data items of same type, same data type, and they are stored in contiguous memory locations. I will tell you the example of memory allocations also. It can be used to store the collection of primitive data types such as integer, character, float, and also derived and user defined data types such as pointers, structures. So we can also create structure of pointers, we can also create structure of let's say array of structures along with the array of integers, array of characters, array of float. That means if I want to have the collection of percentage of all the students in the class under single variable name, so there I can declare as let's say int or float percentage, and then I can specify some size, how many numbers I can store in that particular array. So array, what is array basically? See, this is one example where we can say 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 and the 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now what is this mean? This means our array index. So array elements can be accessed by using this index. One most important thing that we should keep in our mind, that array index starts with 0. So these all are nothing but the indexes and these all are nothing but the elements. So these all are the elements, that is 11, 12, 13, 14 and 15. And index, array index, as I said, starting with 0, then 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now how to declare arrays in C? It's very simple. In C, declaration of array must be done before using it as like any variable. We know that if we are using any variable without declaring it, we get the syntax error as undefined symbol, right? So before using any array, we must declare that array before using. Array can be declared by specifying its name. So what is required? Name of the array, the type of elements in it, what type of element we want to store in the array, and how many elements, that is size or number of elements in the array. So that is what three important things that we require. After declaration of an array in C, compiler allocate. What compiler does? Compiler allocate memory block of specified size to the array name. So array name will be given to a memory block, and that memory block will have the size equal to whatever array element, number of elements we are storing in that array. Let's see the syntax. First we write data type, then array name, in square bracket we specify the size, or data type, array name, in square bracket we write size 1, size 2, size n. What it means? Here n is the number of dimensions. If we want to create multi-dimensional arrays, in that case we use the second syntax. So here this syntax belongs to multi-dimensional array and this syntax belongs to single dimensional array. Now see the example, ARR of 5. What it means? Here array of size 5 or with 5 elements. It means what? It means what? This is ARR, name of the array, and this array is of size 5 or it will contain 5 elements. How many elements? 5 elements. Now the same can be written in this format. So these are the 5 empty blocks, memory blocks, where data will be stored. These are the index of that blocks, and now we know that array index starts with 0. So here array index will start with 0, and as we want to store the element will be stored from index 0, then 1, then 2, then 3, and then 4. Is this clear? So index of the last element will be n minus 1. Here what is n? Size of the array. So how much is the size? 5. So index of the last element will be 5 minus 1, that is 4, n minus 1. Is this clear to everyone? Okay. Now how to do the array declaration? So it's very simple. Declaring the array of integers int arr underscore int 5. What it means? It is the data type. Int is what? Data type. It specifies what type of element my array is going to hold. Is this clear? What type of data elements? And then arr underscore int. Now this is specifying this is an array of type integer. Alright. Now the name you can specify as per your requirement. There is no any requirement that you should specify int, float, character in its name. No. Name is independent. Right? I can write int a of 5. No problem. I can write int x of 5. No problem. So name can be anything similar to what we have declared variable. Right? Then in square bracket we have to specify the size of the array. Now which bracket is used here? Everyone say which bracket is used here? अपने आपको बताओ which bracket is used here? Square. So while declaring don't use the angle bracket or curly bracket. Use the square bracket, right? So here in square bracket we declare what? We specify what? The size of the array. What it means? The number of element that we want to store. Is this clear? Now declaring array of characters, very simple. Character arr underscore character and size is 5. So what this char specifies? It specifies that this array is going to hold 5 character elements. 5 character elements. Index of the first element will be 0. Index of the last element will be 4, n minus 1. So here n is 5. Right? Now note, most important thing. C arrays are static in nature. What it means? What is meaning of static? Which does not change in its size. Static. That is, they are allocated memory at the time of compilation. So at the time of compilation, whatever size we are going to specify, according to that, memory will be allocated to the array. Now here, for every single integer element, assuming that we require 2 bytes. What I said? Assuming that for every single integer element, we require 2 bytes. So how much space will be required for this int array of size 5? Number of elements multiplied by size. So that is equal to 10 bytes. Is this clear? Now in case of character array, the single element requires how much? 1 byte. Single element requires how much? 1 byte. So how much will be the byte allocation to this character array? 5 bytes. Is this clear to everyone? Okay. Now I will show you some examples of array declaration. Fine? Okay. What are things we are going to see? We are first going to declare the array. Then we will check the size of the array. Then we will initialize the array with elements. Then we will print that array elements. That is what we are going to do. Okay? So I am creating a file with name as array demo. arr demo.c. Again, do not forget to give .c extension. So let's begin. We are talking about the array declaration. So initially we begin with declaring of the data type int, integer array I want to create. Okay, and I am writing here arrint, or let me write it as int arr, integer array, and then I am specifying the size. So I am specifying here size as 5. Character char array of again size 5. Then float arr of size 5. So here what I have declared? I have declared 3 arrays of basic data types. That is integer array, character array and float array. Now I will put here just CLR SCR, and I will print the size or memory allocated to these variables, to these arrays, right? So printf, the memory measurement is done in the form of integers, 2 byte, 4 byte, 8 byte. So what is 248? Integer. So if we want to print the size, then we have to use %d, because size is in the form of integer, right? So now here I am specifying as size of int array, size of int array \n, then size of char array \n, and size of float array is equal to %d. And then from which variable it is coming? It is coming from, here we have to use one function, size of function. Here we have to use function as size of function, which returns the number of bytes allocated to that particular variable. So size of, in bracket, int array, comma, size of char array, comma, size of, in bracket, float array. That's it. Now here we will put get ch, and we will now compile the program. Everything is okay. Let's execute this. Control F9. See, size of int array is 10, size of character array is 5, and size of float array is 20. Why the size of float array is 20? Because every single float element requires 4 bytes. Every single element requires 4 bytes. That's why size is 20. Is this clear to everyone? Yes. So here the most important thing that you should remember, how much memory get allocated to array when we are declaring that particular type of array. It is number of element and multiplied by the size required to each single element. Now what I said here, what we did, we have just declare the array, right? So when we have to initialize the array, we can initialize the array by using equal to and the specifying the number of elements in curly brackets. So here we are going to specify the elements in curly bracket. So integer array 1, 2, 3, 5. 5 elements are allocated. Then character array of size 5. So let me make it as, now instead of size 5, size 3, and elements are as A, B, C. So what you have observed, the single character elements can be allocated by using single quote. So size is 3, 3 elements are ABC. And now float numbers, again I am declaring this float number as 3, and I am allocating it as 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. These are the float elements. Is this clear? Now I want to display the elements of array. So how to display the elements of array? Very simple. Print f, and as I said, the array element can be accessed by using index of the array. What I said? The elements of the array can be accessed by using index of the array. So then I have to, let's say, print the elements of integer array. So integer array का data type क्या है? Int है. So format specifier will be %d, %d comma int arr of 0, int arr of 0. Now tell me which element is at location 0, index 0? 1. So let me write here one thing, \n, new line, and now see here, answer is 1. Is this clear? If I want to print, for example, 4, so what we should have instead of 0? We should have 3 there. So we got element 4. Yes. Now if I want to print all the elements, how many print statement or how many %d I need? The number of elements, that is n. So instead of that, what I am doing for I is equal to 0, array index starts with 0, right? Then I less than number of size, that is 5, and then I plus plus, and percent %d, instead of writing 3, can I write here I? You all know the for loop. So loop I will start with 0, it will go up to 4, right? So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, all elements will be printed. One important thing, we have to declare variable I, right? And now let's do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is this clear? Okay. Now I want to print the character elements. What I want to print? Character elements. So instead of D, let's write here C. Instead of int, write down here character. So number of elements in the character array are only 3, size is 3, so we need to modify it accordingly. So we got ABC. Is this clear? Yes. Now for float, what we need to do? So we got 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. Yes, everyone? Okay. So when we want to display the float array, that can also be done, right? Okay. So what you are going to do now? You are going to declare the arrays, initialize the array, and display the elements of array. Is this clear? Okay, fine. Do it now.